Ready? Right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome once again to our self-care Saturday. And yeah, today I think we have a full house. I think everybody is very excited, probably passing on message to one another, and hopefully you've been finding our sessions useful, or it could be the topic for today, right? So for the month of October, we have our Self-Care Saturday theme, which is Metal to Battle Your Challenges. And we have started our month with actually 4 different topics for each week. So we started on 9th of October, expect the unexpected, and especially going to the new norm. And next we have the art of engagement. Also, for last week, we had a very interesting topic, which is character development. And this week, we are talking about celebrating or celebrate triumph. So with us, we have our Prof. Mohammad as our regular expert to speak on the mental health awareness, and with on the panel as well under Fit Unit and PRKPP, we have Coach Wong and myself to talk about physical well-being, nutrition, fitness, and so forth. So we are always welcoming all the different guests. You can always introduce yourself, and we will open this for discussion. Everybody can turn on the video, so unmute themselves, or you want to tap into the chat box to introduce yourself or ask the questions, whether you're on Facebook or Zoom, feel free to do so. And yeah, so I just want to pass the floor to Prof. Mohammad. Prof, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you, Felicia. Very good evening to all my friends. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Once again, our Saturday night self-care Saturday seems to be very quick coming week in every week. So I'm happy to be with you all, and very enthusiastic to talk about being successful in our daily life, in everyday effect. So tonight we are talking about this topic. We should be celebrating our success, and I would say that it is a very great pleasure if we feel very successful in whatever that we do. So I guess we need to really look at that seriously, so that every day is a very successful day. And when every day is a successful day, obviously, we should be able to appreciate ourselves and to move forward to become more and more successful. So before I go on, I need to talk about a few concepts, and because we need to understand what it is all about. So let me share my slide. And so the first definition is about which is a noun. It is about achieving victory, the state of victorious or success, and the joy and the satisfaction resulting from those success. So that is what we are talking about tonight. And all this while, after we are giving all the input for the month of October with regard to being prepared, with regard to being able to engage with people, with regard to being able to actually redefine your personality, redefine your characteristic traits. So actually, if we can do all those, the topic that I did, share with you all with regard to how the mind works, how our attitude and behavior should be, and things of that nature. So we should be actually able to be very successful everything that we did, our endeavors and things of that sort. So this is what it meant by tonight. We should be actually celebrating. And so, but before we can go to that, I think we need to know these two keywords, which is a very important keyword, which is what we call what is meant by effective and what is meant by efficient. So if we were to know that to do and to be effective person is a person who knows how to do the right thing. All right. If he did the wrong thing, obviously it doesn't bring any good outcome, especially if it is way out of his objective and his goals. So he won't achieve the outcome. So he has to be effective in doing the right thing. So whatever the input is, So he will get the output accordingly to what he really wants and to achieve. And subsequently, the person also must be able to be efficient and not only just doing the right thing, but doing the things right all the time, always. So that it doesn't need to repeat doing it many times, doesn't need to waste their time, doesn't need to waste their energy. So knowing what to do, knowing the right things to do, the person is effective in nature, and then doing it correctly and not need to have any mistakes along the line, then the person is efficient. As you can see in this definition, the golden rule is actually to make it work effectively and to make it more and more better, more and more effective, and to make it more and more faster, not to delay in your time, not to actually have what we call, even though you put a step forward, then to put the second step, it may actually you have to take two steps backward, then you are not moving forward. It is because you're not efficient. So we need to develop the effectiveness and being an efficient person. So this is the most important key to our progress so that we can always achieve success in whatever our endeavor in everyday life. So here, this is the quadrant that I want to just make us aware of. Basically, with regard to the quadrant of being effective and being efficient. If you were to look at this, if we can achieve what we call being an effective and efficient person, obviously we know how to pursue the right goals and we know how to then achieve what we pursue. The return of investment, whatever the energy that we put in, whatever the amount money that we put in, we don't really overspend because we do make mistake kind of a thing. So that is when we achieve the quadrant, the third quadrant, as I said, the top quadrant on the right side, which is being effective and being efficient. So you are achieving, you're pursuing the right goal and achieving it very well. But if any person subsequently end up either effective but inefficient, then obviously you can notice that the person is having the right goal, but whatever they do, they are not doing it, and then it can be very costly to them. The effect that is not over, they get as much as they want. And if obviously, if the person is efficient but ineffective, obviously they have the wrong goal, but they do it correctly. So it doesn't really produce as much as what they intend to. Quadrant on the left side, which is ineffective and inefficient, then actually you defeat yourself from actually achieving what you intend to. So you will never get the objective, the goals, and the outcome will not match according to how what you have been doing. So a lot of time people may go into these three quadrants, which at the end of the day, it will in a way prevent you from really achieve what you really want to achieve. So this is a very important phenomena. And this is understand whatever that we do every day, because to be successful, you have always to be on the right track. You have to always be has a proper step, knowing where you want to go, what kind of a route or path that you're doing, and it must always be correct. If it is not correct, you may actually fall off, you may slip away from the right path, then it will may take time to go back on the right track, and that is always a waste of time, a waste of energy, and some subsequently sometimes a waste of you while you're suffering that kind of a setback. So obviously, what are we looking into in the sense of achieving success that we can celebrate the success and the victory that we go. Obviously, for me, for the time being, we are talking about health and well-being, but there are many other areas that we need to also equally be successful in our everyday life. Maybe we can say that it is what we call in a very today kind of outcome that we want to achieve. It is very important because day to day also can subsequently the present can always determine how the future will be. If the present is not correct, obviously you know that the future won't be 100% correct because of the present. There's a lot of issues there. So not only on our health and well-being, As for now, in this forum, we are talking about more of actually the physical health, the psychological health. We also actually try to dwell ourselves in the other element of our health and fitness, which is what we call the spiritual health. So all of us will have this element that we need to build them up to the highest potential. Then obviously we have our social environment, which who are they? The family that we have, our financial situation that we are in, our work, our career, and our relationship with other people too. So these are all the areas that is very important for us to make sure that we develop them very well. And this is happening every day. You know, we cannot just focus only on one thing when every day our life does not, or our life goes around between our physical health, between our psychological health, emotional health, and then between our spiritual health, that we need to fit ourselves into the environment that we are in. So that's why it is very important to take note all these matters. We cannot just assume that we can only do one thing at a time. No, because then we are actually not developing all of it holistically, which is what we need to know and which we need to do. Totalistic and holistic nature is the one that make us whole, make us better. So it is very important, even though I'm trying to promote what we call the psychological health or the emotional health part of it, but actually all the other elements need to be addressed too. So if you see success, obviously success won't come so easily. There will be a lot of obstacle. Sometimes with that obstacle, we crash down. We do have some, we do have some kind of an idea what we want. That is called the lure to be successful. But unfortunately, even when it started to have that attraction to be successful, we may face some problem. And that problem can be the obstacle, which is so serious enough that may lead us to crash or may give us some difficulty, give us some trouble. And if we can overcome all these elements, only then we can be successful. So that is why this topic is very important. And I hope that all this while that we had over the last 1 year, if to all those friends of mine who actually follow us closely, will try to be to understand what are all those issues that we have addressed before. So it is very important because it may actually determine how we are at this point of a time and possibly in the future. So when we reach those kind of situation, obviously we should be celebrating. But what I'm trying to say here is that do we really need to wait for a long while to celebrate? Do in the very future that we have to wait for it to celebrate? So celebration is actually you can make it how to be in an acute, in a very short term nature. So this is let us look back at how to be successful in life. Because if we don't know how to be successful in life, what does it take to be successful in life, and how successful life is all about, then we don't really know how to do whatever we need to do. So this is where we do this topic tonight. First and foremost, right? You or your mind, right? If you were to feed your mind negatively with all this negativity, bad news, a lot of this so-called drama in and out kind of a situation, which didn't distract you from being successful, then that is who you are with your emotion and with your psychology, and possibly also will affect your spiritual nature, your being, well-being, and also will affect your physical, biological health. So if you are the one who actually feed a very positive mind, input to the mind with positivity, with discipline, as this is what we call the nutrition for the mind, the nutrition for your emotional health and mental health. So that's why it all depends on what you are bringing inside towards you. So until unless you know that what you bring in is good, then it will be good. If you realize it is bad, then you have to know how to stop it. This is an issue that most of us are facing. So first and foremost, every day, supposedly every day, we must have a sense of purpose. We must have a sense of purpose. Obviously, then we know the telltale sign of a person without any purpose is the person failed to plan. And obviously, when you fail to plan, you don't know where you are heading to. That's why if you heard about Stephen Covey's effective behavior, one of the effective behavior is always in the day, begin with the end in mind. So you have a goal, what you want to do for the day. So with that goal that you have, then you can work towards it. If without any goal, without any so-called intention, then you don't have any way to actually see whether you are doing it right. So let us look at now. There is two goal that we can look at. One is a short-term goal, and another one is a long-term goal. And if we were to talk about being successful in a bite-sized manner, so it is about the short-term goal. Whatever that we want for that day must be very clear. Whatever that we want to achieve for that day must be actually having a plan of action to accomplish. And subsequently, every day, if you accomplish, actually, you are already prepared to accomplish for the whole year of whatever your goals are. So if you have not, then every day could be a waste of your day. So this is what I talk about being effective and being efficient every day in your daily life and living. So a short-term goal is the one because if we were to wait for the long-term goal, as you know, there will be a lot of obstacles, there will be a lot of distraction, and sometimes you even forgot your goal. That's why we call it the New Year plan. Always got lost after the first month. Then you don't know what actually you are doing. So you keep going back to the old routine, unintended way of doing things. And at the end of the day, you don't see any good results. So I believe if you have clearly noted in yourself what you want to do every day, how you want to get it done, what you want to accomplish, then actually every day should be a very successful day and you should be celebrating your success. So if you don't feel good about the day that has passed and then you have to continue the next day, and that means that that day is a wasteful day, unsuccessful day, and that obviously will never contribute to the whole of your success in your life. So that is very important for us to take note. If you don't have any goals, you don't have any plan, you will not strategize yourself, you will not organize yourself well, you did not actually discipline to get it done. So that is the so-called the recipe for disaster. So first and foremost, think about achieving your goals. So what are your goals for the day? All of us should be actually planning to have some kind of accomplishment for that particular day. And if I were to just mention here for quite a number of my listeners who are students for that day is one. If we were to be attending any kind of a class, learning classes, obviously we cannot afford to just waste it. Quite a number of our, possibly student was saying that, I can only achieve maybe 40% when I attended a class. And for that 8 hours when you were with your teacher attending any of the classes, and you can only achieve 40% for each of that session, then it is a very wasteful time that you have. The problem is that if that is the case, and then you add on to again 60% that you need to achieve. So unfortunately, that 60% that you need to know is very difficult to get it on your own. So if you were not to be studying well with the teacher around you, who was able to assist you, giving you the easiest way to understand all the problem, and you shy away from asking questions, clarifying your doubts, and things of that nature. So it is not easy to get back that 60%. If you were to read on your own for that particular 60%, obviously you will take a longer time because it is no more interactive. You can't find the answer yourself. So that is why every day must be a successful day. So I hope for students, it is so easy to be successful in your so-called studying time because the teachers are always there. The only thing is that how do you manage to actually work with the teacher? Be the best of the friend with the teacher, and the teacher will assist you to make you understand so easily. But if you shy away from them, obviously that is, as I said, one of the behavior that does not bring the accomplishment for that particular day. So similarly with other aspect, example, like aspect of physical health, as an aspect of psychological health, all of us somehow we have our guide, we have our so-called counselor, we have our so-called person who actually can show us the way. But since they are available, but we are not using them, we only want to use them. We have when we face more difficulties, then it is quite a waste. So it is no more what we call a preventive work. Unwell. So then it obviously the outcome will not be as good. So that's why always remember every day matters because every day prevents you from getting deeper and deeper into the problem if you don't sort it out. So that's why you must have your goal. So to have a goal, obviously you always know this word smart, which must be very specific. You don't try to do so many things, right? And then every time when you say smart, I mean you know what you want. Then it must be measurable, something that you can reach or you can achieve. Then it is achievable, something that you can accomplish within your ability, right? Something that you can achieve, which is realistic, not something that is rather out of your reach, out of your ability. So you are not realistic to do. And then it is about time bound when exactly you want it to accomplish. So as I said, sometimes there is the short-term goal, maybe not a day, but maybe a week. So keep it in a way that if you move forward, it is always a progress, not really in a very manner where it stays the way it is for the whole week. You still have not achieved anything. So if it is for that particular day, then try to work it out for that particular day. And once and for all, be effective and be efficient. Complete it well, complete it successfully. Then you don't need to go and re-look at it, re, should I say, relearn something that is already supposedly you should be able to get at the very first instant. So that is the problem when you do things again and again repeatedly. That's why it is not easy for you to achieve success. And here, if you look at the pyramid, obviously, if you're already being successful every day, there will be a new thing that you want to achieve. So try to look and inspire that new goal. And then when you inspire your new goal, obviously, you must align whatever that you want to do first with yourself. What you have, how good you can do that, what is your ability. So align it with yourself and then align it with the environment that you have. Example, like align it with the people that who can teach you. Align it with whoever can give you a good guide, and also align it with the environment. Be in the right environment. If you are not in the right environment, obviously, whatever that you intend to do, it can be much more a big hurdle for you to achieve. And also remember this, you can't do it all alone. Always remember, even though at this stage we are all independent person, but we still need other persons. We have to interdepend on others to actually get what we really want to achieve because we cannot stand in a silo doing things alone without getting any assistance from people, from other resources that is available. Then keep moving up, keep progress. Don't stay, don't be in the status quo. That's why the problem is that if you still remain static, then you cannot move forward. Then your wheel doesn't turn. So the progress is the one that keep your wheel turning. And obviously, true enough, there will never be any easy ride, any easy process to develop and to achieve something. There will be obstacles. Learn how to then overcome the obstacle. And if you can do that, obviously, it will be a very successful endeavor for whatever that things, activity that you want to do. So it can be very easily done because you know how to get it done and you know how to pull your resources. So then it will make you feel good. It make you feel better. Once you already feel that you have achieved one, it gives you a moral boost and you want morale boost and it goes to your ability to complete. So that's why it is a vicious cycle. A lot of time When we did not do all these things, that's why we become either in a status quo situation or we become more and more sluggish and we become what we call dissipate, lost in our daily living, not getting anything that we plan to get. So that is the big issue here. And also we talk about the situation where it can bring up our emotion. So this is what the emotion goal. Emotion goal may be with regard to first and foremost, be who you are and auto control of yourself. Then you know how to have to be free financially and also know how to be loved by people. And then they have time to also have a good family and things like that. And that will boost up your ego or your emotion. So that is why we call emotional goal is also another part of the goal that you must look into seriously. Then obviously look into something that is logical, like over in the sense of what you can have, for example, your house, you can go for vacation. So obviously, if it is within your reach, why not, right? So that's why to prepare for getting all this, maybe you need to be having some saving. You need maybe to work hard things. You need to know how to be financially savvy, literate, and then you can actually build up your financial status, your net worth, and things like that in the form of investment, insurance, and later you can make money work for you. Then you can be more and more free person to do your so-called life in your whatever that you intend to achieve. So these are a very important aspect that we're trying to develop in each and every one of us. I can say that I do know the theory, but it is not easy. Why we need each other. Those who are good in certain aspect can show you the way, and then you become the student. And then in any aspect that you are good, then you become the teacher. Then another person can follow your way. So this is how we work as a team. And the other thing is that very important element for you to achieve success every day is this self-discipline and the ability to have what we call the mental toughness. All right, people are not easily get away doing things and get an easy ride to achieve things. There will always be somehow an element of hindrances, obstacles, difficulties. So you need to be disciplined enough to continue doing it again and again so that you become better and able to make a difference. And the other thing is the resilient part of it. And we did talk about this resiliency. So the mental toughness is very important. If you feed yourself with negativity, obviously you become a person who is very vulnerable because you are rather in a weak state of your emotion and possibly the way you think in your mental state. So that is where the mindset need to be toughened. Even though if you don't have it, as I said, last week we talked about character redefined. Even sometimes our character is towards the one that we use rather negative in nature. We can always redefine them to a more positive way. But as I said, you may not be able to do it alone. You may need to have assistance. So overcoming obstacle is the issue here. An obstacle is any barrier that prevent you from achieving whatever that you want to achieve in your goal. The problem is you cannot be a perfectionist. Unfortunately, quite a number of people are obsessive and being perfectionists. They believe that they need to be perfect, only then they can achieve. That is not true because nobody is perfect. There is always some issues about our own so-called weaknesses that prevent us. And that could actually add on to the obstacle because of that. So most important is the ability to have what we call a growth mindset and to be a person who is very adaptable, very flexible, not rigid, a person who's agile, who can always, be in any situation, they still can remain stand tall and be firm and be able to overcome the situation that they're in. And unfortunately, these obstacles sometimes can come in these ways, right? Sometimes we are just doing things for the wrong reason, trying to please someone else. We are not really having a very strong intention on achieving it. And maybe we're trying to do it, to go it alone. That's always a big problem there. And maybe we ourselves has the issue of resisting change. We don't want to actually change because change could cause you some difficulties. So you might stay in that old self. But unfortunately, if you stay in your old self, you will never get a good result, a new result, because you have to change. Only then you get a better result if you want to achieve something. So this could be actually the common obstacle that is from within our mind. There are many other physical obstacles. There are many other environmental obstacles. But most important, what can stop you is your obstacle that comes from your own mind and from your own attitude and from your own perception of looking at things. So this is where I would say when we go on to this kind of a topic every week, every month, we are trying to relook at ourselves and better ourselves with time. So the word success, if you can see this so-called mnemonic success from the letter success itself. So you must have what we call know your goal, understand the obstacle for you, create a positive mental picture, and clear your mind of any kind of a doubt, and then you embrace the challenge. Then you stay on track. Keep you hold steadfast with whatever the thing that you want to do. Never get swayed by people's idea, never get swayed by people's manipulation. Stay on track. And then you prove to the world that you can do it. So it is a very important phenomenon here. So life is too short to be anything but happy. As I said, if you have actually experienced success, it is the best feeling that you have every day in yourself, the feeling of happiness and joy in life. So with that, I think that is my last slide. I will stop at that kind of presentation, and we can go on for discussion. Thank you, Felicia.
Right. Thank you so much, Prof. Yep, it's been great sharing. Yeah, so I just want to, um, uh, before we start our discussion, perhaps just to let everybody know, you can unmute yourself. You can raise your hand so we can call you up if you have any questions that you want to clarify. Or if you feel a bit shy, you can always put it in the chat box so that we can ask Prof directly, anything that we want to clarify. But first of all, the first slide that really picks my attention is the photo where you have like you become what you feed your mind. As you focus on celebrating the triumph, I think triumph is not something that we reach at the end of the day, but it's constantly what we choose every day. Yeah, so perhaps like what do you think? What can we do to make sure that we feed your mind? Because you spoke specifically on like self-discipline being a very important thing, right? So how does one, sometimes people choose to say, I'm not so motivated, or I lost, the desire to do it. So, and then they obviously we easily let the negativity take over. So how do we constantly audit ourselves, right?
Okay. I guess the most important element that we need to know is, you are the one, I always use this word, make or break yourself. Nobody do that on you. You are the one. You choose to make or to break yourself. And how to make yourself or to break yourself is about your belief. What is your belief towards yourself? I mean, do you have a very good belief upon your ability, about who you are, what kind of a person you are, what are the things that you can do? I think this is the issue about all of us. All of us sometimes forgot that we put ourselves to the stage where we punish, we defeat, we belittle ourselves, and in fact we say that we are not equally to anyone else. So that is where the negativity already been there. Somehow we are not too sure what happened, but it is always there. So if that is the case, right, and if you can't even change that belief, now ask someone else who can then help you to see whether what you believe is correct or wrong.
Mm.
You see, there are many people who can actually help you to look at it. Now, the only problem, if you look at yourself, obviously you can't look at the other thing because you're already fixated on that particular perception.
Mm.
So allow someone to tell you, okay, if I'm weak in that sense, then can you tell me what and how do you see where is the strength that I've got? What are the good things that I have? Then, first and foremost, also trust others to tell you. If then you say, I want to know, can you tell me? But then you said, sorry, I don't trust you. What can we do? You know, this is the game that you play. Again, as I said, either you play the victim mentality, either you play the weak mentality. You say, I am nobody. So this is our fault. This is where we want to put things together because I said, I tell you, friend, no one can do and survive alone. We need to have our group to push us forward because alone we are just like a single sheep that can always be taken by the fox very easily. So go with the group, then we are very strong. So unfortunately, for some people, always have this kind of element because it has already been there in their programming, and that is where we keep saying we need to change the program. We
Mm.
need to have a new program. Come forward. We can do a lot of things. We can learn about how to program consciously. We can learn how to reprogram subconsciously. We are having methods. But if you really want it, then it will become easy. You
Mm.
know, then we just put add on a little bit more, things can change very well. That's
Mm.
why there's no such thing as I'm still doubting myself.
Mm.
So I think that is the issue here. It's okay because all of us somehow been painted a white cloth, been painted quite a number of colors, and sometimes all are dark colors. It's not easy to actually change it to a white cloth again.
Mm.
And at that point of a time, obviously, we need to be handheld. We need to be people to hold on to us, and when we hold on to people, so that people then can show us the better way, because we are already vulnerable at that point of time.
Mm. Yeah, those are some of the common obstacles that one is always facing, self-doubt, not seeing our self-worth, and yeah, even because like you say, the first 7 years of our life, most of it are already formed by then, right? So yeah, then we have lived our life maybe 20 years, 30 years, 40, 50 years, 60 years even. So those are the things that we should not yeah, we should not blame ourselves for having those uh, already what's already past is past. What we can do is to move on, and it's not to, yeah, I think one of the things we try to always get validation from outside, so, or being told that you are doing a good job, but instead, we need to have that belief system. Yeah, one of it is to really get like a good like a good friend or a confidant to talk about, to see whether your values are aligned. And yeah, it's always good to do a self check sometimes with a person that you know best, or know you
Mm.
best, right? Yeah, so yeah, definitely want to open the floor to questions if you have any. um yeah, we welcome you to unmute, type in the chat box, um to talk about today, celebrating or celebrate triumphs. Yeah, I like the part where, yeah, I think I saw somewhere on Instagram as well. There's a reminder. We have only about 60 days to the new year, 2022. So it's a interesting thing that you mentioned, setting goals. Yeah, it's what in the 60 days people most likely would plan, to do something, to start over something, to start to challenge something, to start to have a do-over only on the first day of new year, right? So I beg to differ. I think using some of this wisdom, I think we can start to think about what do we want, short-term goal and long-term goals. This 60 days of the, this year 2021, what do we want to do? I think this is the time when we can actually sit down and plan. And doing that alone is not to say doing that alone, but yeah, you can be not only independent, but you can be interdependent. Yeah.
I guess this issue of actually waiting for the time, the right time. This is the one that we have been told and maybe been taught to wait for the right time before you can get things done. Actually, the right time is always the present time. You don't need to wait for another 60 days to get the right time. I mean, if you decide today you have to do something about it, you better do something about it. Don't try to keep delaying and saying that, okay, no, it's not the right time. Because that will be subsequently when you get away and distracted, by the 30th day, you forgot already what you're supposed to do, that so-called the new year that you planned. Because you already like swayed with a lot of distraction. So that's why this is where we call mindfulness. Every day is very important day. And every day determines the future, the success picture. So if you don't know, if you don't do that every day, then you decided every day. There's always this calling that, no, if you keep falling every day, how can you become stronger? If you keep falling every day, then how can you easily correct yourself? So try to not maximize, optimize whatever the problem that you have. Try to from now on minimize everything, and possibly what is not necessary, throw it away completely. Don't try to dwell again. I mean, unfortunately, all of us have been taught to live in a gray area.
Right.
Something which is very clear, we still want to go into the gray area. And that is where we give a lot of reason for not moving forward. I think this is the attitude that we have.
Yeah, Coach Wong has a question. Yep.
Yes, Coach Wong, share with us.
Yeah, I agree with you, Prof. In fact, when people keep on chasing their tail, actually, it's no fault of them, because the mind works that way. So, but then with understanding the set of principles that you have just shared, then will be a very strong so-called a self-check reminder. Because I feel that wake up the day, just a simple purpose, what you want to be, what you want to get done, and make sure it's accomplished at the end of the day.
Yeah,
I think that is the very important goal we are talking about. Daily simple goal. Just take small step, because that discipline will build up. And when we accomplish, we will feel good. You feel good, and then when you have very good vibration, then the vibration will carry to the next day.
Yeah.
Then I was having a chat with one of my ex-clients, so about some weight issue. So then I was trying to look into the aspect of non so-called diet or exercise related problem. It's the mindset problem. So I said, I would like you to meet my psychologist. Okay, you spend an hour with them, then just have a casual chat. Then I'm physically fit, and I'm happy with myself. I'm happy with my work. You see, then I try to put into a different perspective. It's not about you feel you are happy. When you have a persisting problem, okay, that is outstanding, I think there must be a sign there telling that there's something, okay. So as a coach, we feel that there are many multidisciplinary approaches important. So I say, why not? You just spend some time to talk to my friend, where they are the specialists, when you openly share, the conversation may come to be very, very good, very comfortable and very good. So these are the issues that sometimes when we think we don't have a problem, that is where the problem is. Because I think as what you have mentioned just now, it is so important, because if you can see, the key is the belief system. Sometimes we don't believe, we doubt ourselves. That's why my mentor in my industry tell me, we have to believe in your client more than they believe in themselves. That is the important part. I thought they was joking, you know. I thought, well, how can that? Now I understand that actually we actually disbelieve our ability. We doubt so much of ourselves, consciously or unconsciously. Yeah. That's the reason why we get stuck. And then the little progression is very important. You mentioned about the wheel. Keep the wheel turning. We shouldn't be static. If you're not progressing daily, then you are already in static. That means the wheel is not moving. So there's no progress, no change in mindset, and it's very difficult to if you can't do the small change, you can't do the big changes. So I think very good the sharing tonight that have refreshed a lot of good things, especially when you talk about people are talking of wasting time, wasting money, wasting energy. I think you mentioned about wasting emotions. Wow, that is very powerful. We waste emotion without us thinking. We waste our emotion because we think we get away. Actually, we are not getting anywhere, because that emotion actually should come to a realization that we need to get help. If we are circulating in that circle for a while, I think we need to talk to somebody who understand, who can lead us to the next level. So I think that will be a so-called self-mindfulness and also self-help, surrender, or I would say not surrender in inverted comma. I mean, we become low a bit, take 2 steps back, and why not talk to somebody who I think they are trained in this particular field. They may able to help me to audit some of the things, but don't take it so seriously, because I was thinking, go and see a psychiatrist or a psychologist. It is negative. Now I realize that actually it is actually a must for the person. Actually, you must see a psychologist, because they have the ways to talk to you. That is, then they'll make you put your thoughts to work, and then suddenly you are aha moment. That is where you are out of the problem. So it's very good that I encourage the audience today here or in FB Live. Don't be shy to get to meet a psychologist. If you need any help, just call us, because I think Professor Mohammad is one of our dear friend, and I see that he's really, really a gentleman and really professional. Okay, and he has the empathy, to really look into people's needs. My friend, after I say, you please see my prof, then he said, no need. Then one day after a while already, he got stuck. He said, hey, I want to see professor. Then I make an appointment for him. He went and talked to him for 1 hour or plus like that. And then prof don't even charge him, Then after they say, I feel good now. Just one session, can make a difference. Why you carry and so suffer so much? Because our life is so important. If we know how to get along, to progress every day, I think we will get better. Thank you so much, Prof, for your great sharing tonight. Okay.
Thank you,
Felicia. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for your sharing too.
Right, thank you so much. Yeah, definitely want to open up this to anyone who may, who has joined us. Yes, Stephen, you're joining us for the first time. Yeah, and is there any feedback you'd like to make? Perhaps maybe any questions for Prof or anybody on the floor? Oh, okay, all right, no worries. But thank you so much for putting on the video. So it's nice to put a name, face, and yeah, we have a few. We have like Dr. Shakir, we have Najwa, we have Haziq, Jasram, Hanis. We have Azizatul. Hi, Dr. Shakir.
Shakir.
Shakir, you got something for us?
Shakir is another psychiatrist friend of mine with Quest University.
Yeah, you have to unmute yourself.
Okay, so today I don't have any question, but I enjoyed today's session. Nice, inspiring speech by Dr. Mohammad, Prof. Mohammad. Okay, so feeling tired also, preparing to go to bed as well. Okay.
Are physical classes already? Physical classes started already, or still online?
Okay.
Shakir has got to go to hospital because he's only the two of them teaching medical student in Quest. So he has
Oh,
to go to typing and HBUK,
I
a lot
see.
of clinical. So
Yeah, yeah.
obviously he's
How, yeah,
really,
how do, yeah, how does one, how, I wonder how does a fellow or, therapist or psychiatrist or psychologist, um, are able to also unwind, or, because like, we as probably like layman lah, we want to actually if we are frustrated, we cannot express. So if you know already all the answers, but if you have the challenges yourself, what do you do? You talk to your
Shakir. Well, how you do when you're stressed?
Yeah, that's
do something.
that's good.
Yeah, any sharing on that? What do you do when you are stressed, Shakir? All of us
Okay.
can feel the stress.
No, actually, mental stress. I don't feel so much mental stress because I can cope with the stress. I teach us how to cope with the stress. So I know how to control, how to overtake or overcome this situation. But physical stress, yeah, sometimes I cannot. I need rest in some difficult situation. So after taking rest, then I did that will be okay. So today, first holiday, Deepavali holiday, I started this week. So I did a lot of house chores, so many shopping, so many work. So now I feel a little bit physically stressed, need rest. That
Oh,
is.
Right. I think just festive season is always that way. It only happens once a year, right? So you kind of just have to balance back and see, get a good night rest, and then make sure that you eat on time and you exercise. A lot of people don't realize this, but sometimes although doing fitness or physical activities do make you tired, but it actually helps you to recover faster. It's very different. Some people, they will ask, are doing house chores or exercising for 1 hour, like let's say running or walking. What's the difference? I feel tired doing those two things, right? Let's say a housewife asking, and yeah, those are two different things, because you're working on different set of muscles. You're increasing, you're mindfully increasing your heart rate, and you are exercising, your cardiovascular health. So definitely, sometimes when we feel that we are unable to recover, I mean, a lot of people say it's age, but there's also a lot of things to do with our food intake. Remember to eat your food on time, and get your 6 to 8 hours of sleep. So sometimes we also, because sometimes if our job requires to help other people, right, whether it's students or whether it's patient or clients, we ourselves need to take care of ourselves first. So I think like we all learn from the previous sessions, right? Self-care is not selfish, so it's really important to you cannot pour from an empty cup. So so this is where we pour into our cup, so that we can share more, right? I think that's important. So maybe to finish off, if there's no more questions, Prof, maybe you can I see your definition of success here. You put all the very nice, see your goal, understand the obstacles, create a positive mental picture, clear your mind of self-doubt, embrace the challenge, stay on track, and show the world you can do it. Maybe you can share with us, how do we stay on track?
As I said, you want to stay on track is based on what is your purpose. What is basically the reason you are there doing what you are doing, trying to achieve what you are trying to achieve. And then to make it not only the sense of purpose, but make it a sense of belonging. It is yours. And if you have it, you feel so good about it. And if you lose it, you will feel miserable about it. I think the issue about being tired, the issue about, sometimes you do succumb to this kind of, feeling unwell for it. It could be a temporary one, and try to make it temporary. Don't try to make it continuous, make it more and more chronic, because by then, obviously, it will eat into you. It will eat you up. So basically, all of us will have the same thing, the same problem, because we are all human. The thing is, keep remembering that I have the reason what I am doing for what I am getting, because that is for me, and my main goal is to achieve happiness, peace, and harmony in my work life and whatever that I have for the moment. I cannot waste whatever I have. I need to cherish them. So whatever that is, it always will add on to my peacefulness, my happiness, and my harmonious being within me and with people outside me. So I think with that attitude, it will make you more and more positive.
Yep, it's true. Always reach out, always reach out. We are not alone. Okay, thank you. Very good.
With the Liverpool's win recently, you never walk alone, right? I know, Manchester United fan may be rolling over when I say this, but yeah, if there's any Liverpool fans in the house, yeah, congratulations, yeah, you never walk alone. With that, we wish everybody the rest of the weekend a good one, and definitely still stay safe. We hear some rising cases again. I mean, it's normal with the interstate travel, so stay safe, still adhere to the SOPs, and and don't forget to not only have a clean diet, good exercise, consistent exercise, have enough of rest to improve your immune system, but we always have to constantly work on our mind, right? Work on our thoughts, because we are what we think, and that leads to our action, and obviously there will be consequences, right? So definitely we want the results, that we have to put in action, but it starts with what we feed our mind. So I think that's one of the best takeaway from Prof session today. And so we'll be taking a break, maybe a Deepawali break, and then we'll come back. Sure. We'll come back again on a new month, November month, to talk about more, maybe create a new theme for November, to talk about different, to create more awareness on the mental health. So thank you so much for joining our Self-Care Saturday. So and then feel free to join our WhatsApp group, so to get, to ask any questions, or to get our recordings of our Zoom, so that you can share this with your friends and your loved ones. So take care, everybody. Stay safe.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Nice weekend.
Thank
you, Prof.
Have a nice day.
Thank you so much. Good night.
Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you.
Shakir. Everybody.
Bye.